Morning, guys. So it's Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025 here in Rusty, Rhode Island. So I told you guys before, I use the early mornings to kind of catch up on some stuff. Like, I was bringing all the trash around the back, and the other morning I did some digging and water the garden. This morning I brought the van truck, backed it up to the door here, and I've been unburying the fuel tanks. It seems to have became a shelf. When I brought it up, I noticed this. Apparently somebody shot at it with a BB gun and hit it right there. That is definitely a BB hit right there. Somebody drove past my property when it was parked down there and shot it. And it's Tyson. Came out for his morning pee. Tyson! What you doing, buddy? Came out for his morning pee. So, I swapped the battery from the 54 into the 36. Now this is the 36 battery on the charger here. And I'm noticing the date is 12/17. So I put it on the charger and I jacked it up to 200 amps for 5 minutes. Now I've got it at 40 amps. All of the cells seem to be bubbling about an even rate. So it is charging. As far as amperage, it's down to about, looks like what, 10 amps. So I'm going to put a voltmeter on it and see what the voltage is reading. Sometimes an indication, if it's reading like 18 volts, it's possible there's a bad cell or a fuse cell. Yeah, I had to take all the stuff that was stacked up all over the fuel tank and find a place to put it. It's like it's a collection site. So this fuel tank, I went and got the new hose, new clamps and all that. Start off fresh. I do like a double clamp on each one too, so I just, even though it's not a high pressure system, I don't know. This piece here worked okay, but the vent part of it I had an issue with. There's a vent right here, this, you can see this tube. You see how it, this piece, that was good. This piece here bends down and it points right at the piece of the truck bed. So I've got to do some modifications to this. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do here. Once I get the tank in, I'll be able to get an idea. I might be able to just bend it right here. Just bend this up. Now this is, I'm not sure if it's leaded in or not. It almost looks like it's soldered. This looks like lead right there. So I may be able to just loosen this up and turn it up a little bit. I will do it before I put fuel in it, obviously. But I'll put a torch on that and turn it and then re-solder it. That might cure my problem, or I might have to bend the tube. I'm not sure. But when I put the bed on the chassis, there's a bed rail right in the way. And obviously I don't want to cut the bed rail out, so I'll have to fix that somehow. And that's, you know, that's the kind of stuff I run into all the time when I'm building crazy shit like this. You know, you're stacking parts on parts that were never intended to, you know, have it. But I want to get that van truck running. And I could deal with the rear end at some point. I'm going to get the rear end out of the bus and then I'll have it ready. I'll have to get it all prepped and ready to go in. New brakes and emergency brake cables and everything. So I got some time before I deal with that. This was a queen size box spring frame. That's what's left. That's the wood that you have in your box springs. And it's all nice, clean yellow pine. And I say to myself, hey, throw that, cut it up, throw it in the barrel, firewood. But this is what happens to me in my mind all day long. Should I save it or should I get rid of it? I've got 12 barrels of wood over there. About 4 of them are left over from last year. So I didn't even go through all the wood I had last year. So I guess I'll probably have a pit fire. I'll use my little cooker there and sit out and have me a little fire and burn that up. Got those 3 4x4 pressure treated. So I'm going to put a chain around the top. Then I throw like a lag bolt through the chain so it can't slide down. Take it over and pull. I pull the hedges out. I put the tripod around the hedge. Drop the chain, or come along down rather. Put a chain around the, just about down next to where the stump is. And I'll crank that thing out of the ground. And then I'll knock all the dirt off the ball and it'll fall right back in the hole. Once all the dirt is knocked off the roots, it's pretty light. You can just like lean the tripod over and go to the next one. I pulled, oh man, with a similar setup, I think it was over 200 feet of hedge that I pulled out. Now the guy wanted the landscaper said, oh, I have to bring a backhoe in, 2-man, blah blah blah. But I went out there one day with my tripod, and the homeowner was ecstatic. He's like, you didn't destroy my lawn. You put all the dirt right back in the hole. There's no mess. Because they would have had to drive the backhoe across his yard. You know, you got to watch out for the septic system. And so the guy's like, where did you learn that? I said, books. I read about how the ancient people used to load ships or things like that. You know, that's how they did it. So you would pick it up and drive the ship under it somehow. And you see what's going on here, guys. What a mess, huh? But my concentration's on this. I want to get the fuel line sticking out, and then the wiring situation. Everything will be ready to clamp it right in, to put the straps on, get it in. All right, guys. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna do a video, aren't you supposed to talk? I've had a few people say I talk too much. See you later. Out from Rusty Rhode Island.